What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a massive return rumored for Mania, who won the last night of the Wednesday Night War, what happens if Roman Reigns loses the Universal Championship, Andrade rips the WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now our first story looks at a massive return at Wrestlemania. Now when is former Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch returning to WWE? Well, according to this week's Wrestling Observer, the man could be back as soon as this weekend at Wrestlemania. Dave Meltzer speculated on the situation as well as the possibility of Bayley appearing. If they add a Bayley talk segment to Mania, that would likely be Lynch's return, as the idea of her driving a big truck in at one of the two Mania shows during a Bayley talk show segment is something we were told was being planned at one point. That also explains Bayley seemingly not booked for the show after a year when she was Women's MVP. Meltzer also discussed Nick Khan's recent remarks on Lynch and what her contract status is as relates to her maternity leave. WWE President Nick Khan was on Colin Cowherd on the 7th April and said that Lynch and Rousey would be returning soon. Rousey's contract expired originally this past week. It's possibly they froze it from when she asked to take time off. Now, we wouldn't be surprised if the WWE froze Lynch's contract while she was off, as the promotion often does the same thing when a wrestler is out with an injury, just like Jeff Hardy. Would you guys like to see Becky bounce back this Sunday, or should the WWE let the other women on the card have their moment in the sun? Next up, Roman tipped to retain at WrestleMania? Who's going to win at WrestleMania 37, and more specifically, who is going to win the triple threat match between the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan? Well, at one point, Edge seemed to be the slight favourite, but now there are rumours that the Tribal Chief will find a way to prevail on Sunday night. According to Dave Meltzer, things are looking like a close call between Roman Reigns and Edge. This is based on the build, the comparative segment numbers, and the promos looks to be the biggest match of either show. What is also good is you can make a good case for any of the three to win. Reigns is the guy, and even if he loses, he's getting it back. Bryan ends day 2 with a giant yes chant, but he's not their guy they want as a top guy. Edge makes for a great comeback story, but the heel turn a few weeks ago takes away from that. Plus, nobody knows how the crowd will react. Is Reigns now a face because he's such a cool heel? Bryan is never booed. Edge is a heel, but he's also a returning legit legend who rarely wrestles and has a total babyface story. Also, the case can be made that Mr. McMahon could change things at the last minute, as he's known to do. Meltzer's comments on this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter are spot on as far as things boiling down to either Reigns or Edge. If Edge wins, Roman will chase the Rated R Superstar for the belt, eventually recapturing it. This is the ideal scenario because Roman's first title reign has been lackluster up until his match against Daniel Bryan and the subsequent challenge from Edge. Be sure to check out our videos where we cover the predictions for both nights of this year's WrestleMania. Next up, Andrade rips WWE. Former WWE superstar Andrade isn't holding back when it comes to his feelings about the promotion. The recently released superstar shared his thoughts on WWE President Nick Khan's remarks that the WWE is considering branching into Mexico, possibly with an NXT Mexico brand. Andrade tweeted, "More talent for sitting in the locker room." This isn't the only thing that Andrade had to say about the WWE. The former US champion recently discussed the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, tweeting, "5 Latinos? Really? En serio?" He tagged in Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, Kalisto, Lindsay Dorado, and Gran Metalik, and mentioned, "I hope one of you win." The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is usually a good indicator that WWE has nothing planned for you at WrestleMania, and the 5 Latino wrestlers' placement in it is a bad sign for how the WWE sees them. As for the WWE operating in Mexico, Nick Khan seems to think Mexico is a potentially lucrative market. If you look at the Lucha Libre product, which is the authentic Mexican wrestling style, there are 2 smaller Mexican promotional companies that exist. I think if we put the WWE effects onto one of those companies and we kept the authenticity, I'm talking about building our own company, not acquiring either one. If it had the WWE touch and work ethic, ultimately you can build that marketplace out where you have certain events that are still doing 30 million viewers, things you haven't seen in the US outside of the Super Bowl in the year. What do you think of the WWE operating in Mexico, and is Andrade right about how the company uses its Mexican stars? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 2 highlights. A Stand and Deliver's second night featured more title changes as well as some brutal matches. Here are some of the highlights from Night 2's event. Karrion Kross defeated Finn Balor to win his second NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano retained the North American Championship against Bronson Reed. Santos Escobar defeated Jordan Devlin in a ladder match to crown the undisputed Cruiserweight Champion. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart retained the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship against The Way. Kyle O'Reilly defeated former Undisputed Era teammate Adam Cole in a violent unsanctioned match that saw Cole do a stretcher job. And Killian Dane and Drake Maverick defeated Breezango on the pre-show to earn a future NXT Tag Team Championship match. What did you guys think of Stand and Deliver last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, who won the last ever Wednesday Night War ratings battle? The Wednesday Night War is over as the WWE has decided to move NXT from head-to-head competition with Dynamite on Wednesdays to Tuesday night. While AEW clearly dominated the overall ratings battle, both in terms of number of viewers and in the valuable age 18 to 49 demographic, fans are curious to who won the last head-to-head battle. Wrestling Inc.'s Mark Middleton provided an update on the ratings, saying Wednesday's new edition of Dynamite drew 688,000 total viewers on TNT, while the live TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1 edition of NXT drew 768,000 viewers on the USA Network, according to Nielsen via Showbiz Daily. While the Black and Gold brand had more views, AEW won again in the key demographic. It ranked 5 in the cable top 150 for the 18 to 49 demo, while NXT ranked 11. AEW ranked 61 in total viewership, while NXT ranked 59th in viewership. The WWE's NXT TakeOver was a pay-per-view level show that clearly brought in viewers. Unfortunately, NXT did not put on shows of this level every week and simply couldn't compete with AEW. At one point, it looked like the Black and Gold brand had found a winning formula when WWE ran the NXT Invasion angle in 2019, but the promotion quickly backed off on the angle and NXT's numbers subsequently dropped. And looking at the Wednesday Night Wars, it's clear that their decision to move NXT from the network to the USA Network to compete directly against Dynamite was a bit of a failure. The WWE can claim they didn't make the move to hurt Dynamite's ratings, but whatever their intent, NXT suffered in the ratings and is likely going to fare much better on a night where there are no ratings, or they'll be up against Impact. If one subscribes to the WWE's analogy that the ratings war was a marathon and not a sprint, it's clear that NXT is near the starting line while Dynamite crossed the finish line quite a long time ago. And finally, Peacock edits out more WWE Network content. And last but not least, the Peacock streaming service is busy deleting offensive content from the network in order to make Peacock the family-friendly place it claims to be. Now it looks like Goldust is the latest superstar to get censored. According to this week's Wrestling Observer, Peacock and WWE Network are evidently editing out segments from the late 90s with Goldust wearing black paint on his face. We can only imagine some of the censors' reaction when they go back to the Attitude Era. Oh wait, they've already cut out most of those anyway. So, are you now looking forward to the Peacock's 25-minute editions of Raw episodes from the late 90s? Yeah, what a stupid move. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.